Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the plot tour at the end of July in yet another heat wave. I thought a good time to come down to the allotment when it's nice and quiet is the height of the day, when it's meant to be 32 degrees, and sure enough there's nobody else here. Fantastic. So kicking off as usual, the rhubarb bed. Not that you can see much rhubarb because it's really suffered this year, and the taberry that is finished. I will be taking off the growth for this year and tying in next year's growth, although it's not going that well for next year, purely because of how dry it's been. And the strawberries have long finished. I'm trying to keep them moist. They're not really putting out runners, probably because they realise there wouldn't be any point, because they wouldn't be able to root into any moist soil. And we've knocked back the borage here, and it's revealed that the blueberry here in the centre has put on the best growth it ever has. So maybe being sheltered by the borage was the solution. So we got some random potatoes popped in here a little bit later than the rest, so we'll see how that goes. And the nets are off the black currants. This one's putting on some nice new growth for next year. And the gooseberry, that's looking quite good. You can see sort of snapped off bits where the pigeons have been in, and after we decided we'd had as much as we were going to take, the pigeons have absolutely stripped it. And the carrots, there are some carrots in there amongst the weeds. Another happy black currant. And the meadow, well, most things are finishing here. I did put in some cosmos to try and keep the colour going a little bit, but certainly could be hacked down. So nothing happening in this bath. So the onions and shallots have come out of here. We've put in a cover crop, and you can see the brassicas are up first. We had a fantastic crop of shallots out of here. You can see this section is probably doing a little bit better for the cover crops than the rest, because the rest was where the struggling onions were. Oh, we've got a reddening pepper, and the tomatoes and the French beans, all looking okay. Some of the tomatoes have not been as happy. You see this one's quite spindly, just purely because why would you want to have great big leaves evaporating moisture when it's been so hot? And the leeks, these are looking really good until they don't. There's always the thing, as so many of the plants can look fantastic for months and months, and then something, the conditions will just change and they start to fail. But my goodness, these wigwams are not failing. We haven't had the summer storms as much as in previous summers, so the wigwams have not been blown sideways. The only strong winds we had were actually unusually from the north. So cabbages are recovering. I think they're hearting up. Courgettes are really struggling in this bed. There's something about this bed that a lot of the plants don't like. And I've sort of semi-pruned the peach. I got waylaid one day when it just got too hot, but we still have the fruit. And all the energy of that massive tree is going into that fruit, so I'm hoping it's going to be quite a decent size. So the orange lilies died down, and we have tomatoes here, but again spindly and struggling. French beans, they haven't really been happy in here, but since we ousted the potatoes we thought, well, we'll shove something in there. The original Waldo is finished. And it did pretty well. I never watered it, unlike the other two out on the plot, and it still produced fruit. New dahlias are struggling in the heat on the bank there. Peppers looking nice. Look at these. Some of these are lovely and shiny. And I have given the red love quite a hack, really, and I think with also thinning the fruit it has perked up a bit, which is good news. Got a couple of cosmos in there, and the flower beds are looking okay. Certainly not as full as I would have liked them to be, but then it's just too hot. Still waiting for some flowers on these dahlias. They'll probably pop out in October, just before the frosts. And the pluot's doing its usual. Once it's finished fruiting, it starts to look like it's dying. I'd really love to know what is going on with the leaves on this. And the rose, you can see, is putting on some new growth. And we have got some buds still to come. So this is some of the peach prunings went underneath the pluot there. So raspberries, you can see the height, not great, but as our neighbours over there, they're only barely 2 feet high. So we've really been struggling to put on any size. They are cropping, but last year we were getting 200-300 grams every 2 days. Now we're getting about 24 fruits every 2 days. And some of the super columns have got plums that I'm sure are ready, and we have no room for them, so we're sort of delaying harvesting them as much as we can. Parsnips are doing okay after they had their weeding, and they now need another weeding. So we had some leftover leeks, and we've done the sort of Charles Dowding cluster planting, and they seem to be quite happy. They're in a shaded spot behind the sweet corn, and I would say that is probably the tallest we've had the sweet corn, and it seems pretty happy. As if we had it right close to the super columns last year, and the ones on this side struggled, but this year they seem to be far enough away from the roots that they're okay. So we've got some cobs forming, and another bed of beans, tomatoes and leeks at the front there, which I've put hay around, which looks remarkably like the grass. And these were actually just spare tomatoes. We cleared this bed and it just happened to be perfect timing to shove in the spares, which we're happy to have. It's always useful to have extra tomatoes. I put a bit of wood chip around this bed, give it a bit of a mulch, and these were spare courgettes, and actually they're doing better than the ones that were sown direct. These were just out of containers we grew on at home. But again, look how sort of reluctant this one is to put on any kind of big leaf growth. A bit more from this one. And wow, look at this. That is a happy pear tree. Unlike some of the apple trees, which have been less happy. And so we were deciding we must get a codling moth trap for next year. As we have been putting up with all our fruit being, so a lot of it being riddled with little worms. The Victoria plum, that is a very large plum. It's continuing its fight with the silver leaf, and we could get, well, we will get some fruit, not that one, and we might make some more plum jam. And look, the green gages, I did do a little bit of thinning, would you believe? And the fruit trees have had their summer prune, the early one, and they will get their late one. And there are damsons, definitely the most we've ever had. A lot of them have been also had by moths, so they no doubt will be useless. Various things down here. And so this dahlia, see the Geneva, seems to be okay now. It was a bit smothered by Nigella initially. And we've got another Waldo here that served us well with blackberries. So this Merton Nave has got some nice looking apples on it, but there is a lot of them are just dropping. These are the tentacles as the new growth of the Waldo in the orchard, which I'll need to tie in. So this hole basically is an indicator that I'm working along from the left there, digging up the second early jazzy potatoes, which have been small but very tasty. So we are going to give them another go next year. And I've learnt my lesson with this new method of fleecing them, that once I take the fleece off, I need to mulch them. Otherwise, as I found, I've been watering them and then revealing the potatoes, which get sun scorched. Right, hope everybody's keeping well and try and keep cool, and I will catch you in next month's video. Bye for now.